Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Barbarian and this is Crusader Kings 3 and I'm incredibly excited that we are here today with an episode that honestly I did not anticipate when we started out with Duchess Elizabeth. You know, there have been so many years, so many episodes of us really following her story, exploring who she is and who she wants to be, and I mean she has this huge burden to carry because she comes of course from Duke Vea the Impaler. And he was a rather disturbed man, and yet, might I just point this out, she is quite well adjusted. She has created a legacy, not just for herself, but also for her children, of course. Her daughter, you know, is now the Queen of Galicia, and her two sons will inherit some land. This is one of the best lives, I think, that we have lived with this family so far, and yet at the very end of her lifespan, well, I mean, okay, wait a minute. Let's hope that it's not at the very end of her lifespan. We are looking at potentially the most dangerous and difficult days, weeks, months, or maybe even years that are to come in her life. I'm of course talking about the challenge that she no doubt has to issue towards the man to the right here, King Asnar III of Aquitaine, Italy, Sardinia and Corsica, as well as Valencia. He is a monster, and I mean we already knew that it is his common nickname, Monster, but let's be real here. Most people, including Duchess Elizabeth, who currently still calls him a friend, they thought that when people called him Monster, they were referring to, you know, maybe him having a fairly harsh sense of justice, executing people and so on, but that's not what they meant. Or maybe it was, but the title nonetheless is correct. He is a cannibal. We learned about this when one of our estranged relatives, our Muslim relatives, told us this secret. Who knows how he gained knowledge of it, but what I can tell you is that King Asnar III can't remain, or the legacy of our Elizabeth is tarnished, because ultimately she has been the protector of the realm, she has been the marshal and very active in actually defending the reign of the king. But it's not just that, it's also that when you have a king like that on the throne, it is impossible to say what might happen next, and it is impossible to say what might happen to your children, to Philippe, Suero and Elizabeth. And when we talk about Duchess Elizabeth's legacy, I think that we have to talk about the factual things that actually remain. Of course, she has a very positive reputation. As you can see, she is respected religiously and of course on the secular level as well. But when reality then is so close to a doomsday, she can't just sit by. She has to protect the world in the name of her family. And I thought about this for quite some time. I brought it up as well. I asked you in the comments, of course, under the last video, because King Asnar III is our friend, and the difficulty in CK3 is that once you are friends, it is very difficult and not really in your hand how to get rid of being a friend. Right now, as it stands, because we are friends, I can't join any faction. But of course, I need to join a faction if I want to oust him, right? So, I looked at this, and I asked you, is it, you know, should we do this via a debug command? And ultimately, I will tell you, we will do it via a debug command. Because when you excommunicate somebody, when you disinherit, denounce, maybe even claim their titles, declare a war, and so on, you can hardly still be called friends, right? So as soon as it is appropriate in this episode, I will be declaring him a rival, basically. We will say, this is our rival now, he will feel the same way, and he will understand what is coming for him, because this is a carriage barreling towards him with at least the power of 15 horses. King Asnar III must be destroyed. Now, before we can destroy him, obviously, we need to become a bit clearer about what we are and where we are going. We need to ask for the blessing, and I think there are two blessings that I would like right now. First of all, I think we should host a grand rite. I want to meet my children, and I want to tell them, dear children, we all must band together now. This is the time when we either prevail or we will be failing forever. I will tell them about the secret of our king, and I will tell them that this is now the time for resistance, that they need to be geared towards it, that they need to know, my sons need to know, that it is their duty and that I expect them to fight the enemy together with me in my army. Be that life or death, it has to be done. And I tell Elizabeth that now as Queen of Galicia, she has a role to play in this as well, as she must convince her husband that his troops should march towards Aquitaine. So with that, let's just start this ordeal. I can see they all are attending. It is only me and my children. I like that. I think it's really, really neat. Except, Elizabeth is bringing a new potential participant, Carlos. They are old acquaintances, as it turns out, and Elizabeth asks if Carlos may join our rite. You know, I look at him and I say, listen, Elizabeth, I like the fella, but I have to tell you, this is us as a family asking for the blessing of Akabels and the wolf, of course, that protects our house. I don't think this is the right time to open up our circle. No disrespect, but that is all the way I feel about it. Wait a minute, I need to see how he died. Died in an accident. That's unlucky. The full moon rises. As the moon rises in the heavens, heralding his arrival, I can feel my body responding to the strange energies in the air. The silhouettes around the great bonfire are silent, unmoving, waiting for that which is to come. As the host of this gathering, it is up to me to begin the ritual. We will be reading from an ancient grimoire, whether it works or not, but basically, I will attempt to channel the power of everything that is wholly within the land of the Basques in Vasconia. I want to reiterate something here. I keep seeing ideas where it's basically like, maybe you want to make your own heresy, maybe you want to make a heresy that is very Islam friendly, because we are quite multi-religious here, right? This is entirely correct, but there's something that I need to clear up. When it comes to the perception that we have, Duchess Elizabeth fundamentally, as it stands, views herself as a Christian. She views herself as a Christian, as a Catholic, as a follower of the Pope, except with a regional quirk. She views what she does as basically ancestor worship rather than witchcraft. Obviously, the church is not in favor of it, but that is an entirely different story. Yes, sure, the church is not in favor of it, but there are many things people do day in, day out, anywhere in the Christian world that the church isn't in favor of. This, if anything, is just a compatible thing, and we might at some point create something like Insula. If you take a look at Insula, that is basically, since they have the right tenet, they are still utilizing Pope Stephanus V as the head of the church, of their church. And we might do that at some point, but she's not exactly interested in changing up the religious organization. No, she is very much dedicated to the idea of the Catholic Church, except, of course, she would praise the deities that have secured the role of her family in the world, right? That is how she sees it, though. So don't take this as something where we create a new religion right here. I don't think she minds that or is directed into this at all. We're going to read from the ancient grimoire to further explore the culture, the people, and the family that came before us, and to get the blessing of theirs, because remember that the wolf, of course, is a protector of one of our ancestors and of Ackerbels, who is the local deity bound by the land and bound to the land. Let's hope that this works out. This appears to have worked. Indeed it did. The old words are strange, yet they speak to me on an instinctive level. They weave an enchanting pattern, full of beauty and promise. My guests are utterly spellbound. As I close the grimoire with a dramatic gesture, their cheers erupt through the glade. Now that the main ceremony is finished, my guests and I are free to worship as it pleases us. He could tell me about Marshall. See, this is interesting. I would be inclined, as a person, of course, to focus on this, but in this case, Philippe is approaching me, and he says, "Dear mother, in this fight, we must stand together. We must do everything that we can. You have convinced me. And I would like to teach you something that you maybe don't know about, because he is an aspiring blade master, which I am not, so he has some more knowledge on, actual practical fighting. I will take this lesson from him, and I will then immediately utilize it. Where will we utilize it? I mean, I do like Household Guard. I don't think this down here really matters for us anymore. Let's pick up Household Guard. I assume we don't have that many knights available. We could recruit Ansui. How much are you worth? 55 bucks. That is quite some money. Well, maybe we will recruit him. Let's just for the moment... Actually, let me check this. 150 prestige for this? Why wouldn't I, right? I will send out some messengers, even if we can't possibly afford them immediately. Having more knights would be so, or could be so pivotal in this war. Right, now, as I say, we have a practice that is rooted in the land, rooted in our history, and is very natural. What he is doing, King Aslan III, is not very natural. Cannibalism is an absolute disgrace. It is disgusting, it is depraved, and it has to be fought. A person like him is, it's unpredictable. What he will do, it's pure insanity, and because of that, we have to act against him. But of course, if we act against our king that we protected for such a long time, we will have to reveal who he really is. Now, I want to do this in a bit of an intertwined fashion here. Pope Stephanus V, I will send you a poem about legacy. And in this legacy poem, I will write down that legacy that just is a nice memory means nothing. What one needs in legacy is the question of, for example, lasting impact. So, for example, I'm talking about such a thing such as overthrowing the current king of Aquitaine and Italy for the better. If we did that, that would be a true legacy, Pope Stephanus, wouldn't you agree? And it appears that he did take to that poem. And with a positive response there, I will immediately, after unpausing here, see you next time, we will go on a pilgrimage. We will go on a pilgrimage to the Vatican. You can see I thought about this quite a bit, because I said to myself, there has to be such a roleplay build-up to make this justified and to make it worth it, and I think this is how we do it. I will go to Rome, and in Rome, I will talk to His Holiness Pope Stephanus V. I assume, you know, since my son is an alleged witch, since it is at least a rumor, let's take this with a bit of a grain of salt here. I think this accusation came from a mayor, actually, but let's take this with a bit of a grain of salt, and let's take a look at Philippe and say, yes, he is rumored to be a witch, but none of that is true, of course. We are talking about a much bigger threat. I can tell you the truth about King Asna III, the monster. And with that, we will then ask the Pope to give us a claim to Aquitaine. The goal here is to get a claim on Aquitaine, then get a claim on Italy right after, because we're the same family and I would be the family head, and oust him from there as well. His other minor titles, I mean, I think he will simply disappear in, you know, nothingness. He will just fall apart, so I don't think we need to claim that, but there will basically be a single lasting campaign against the king until Duchess Elizabeth dies, if she dies. I mean, who knows, maybe she's immortal, right? So that is her purpose, to bring justice to this world. Let's go to the Pope in Rome and let's see what he says to us. It's time to depart. Of course it is. We've traveled these roads before. A knight has arrived. Look at him, Guillaume. Oh, he's at 22. Yeah, I need money. I really do need money. We'll see. Love thy neighbor. Among my fellow pilgrims, there's a woman who preaches compassion and fellowship until she reaches the topic of heathens. One evening around the campfire, she loudly declares them to be abominable monsters in the eyes of God, deviants and child murderers all. Most people avert their eyes when she looks at them. Tonight I was not quick enough. Do you not agree, old Duchess? They're not all that bad, which gives me sympathy to heathens. Oh, I agree, and I would not trust anyone who came to the defense. That's definitely not us. I have to tell you, no, they are not all that bad. You have to be realistic. We live in a world that isn't just black or white, it is grey. And you must evaluate people on their individual basis. That includes Christians, who oftentimes can be rather terrible people. Pilgrims flock to Rome from all over the Christian world. Some follow the Via Francigena. Isn't this the Via Francigena that we are taking here? Others take less well-known paths. In the end, we all converge here at St. Peter's Basilica, where the great man himself was put to rest. Standing here with the other pilgrims, I sense a feeling of solemn unity and fellowship shared amongst the gathered, all having overcome various trials and tribulations along their journey. I have walked the holy path. Indeed, I have. I indeed am now in a position where Pope Stephanus thinks quite positively of me, and as we approach him, we tell him of what we have learned about King Asna the Monster, and he immediately sends out many, many messengers to all over the Christian world denouncing King Asna III and giving me a claim to his titles. Obviously, he is also an adulterer, but let's be real here, that is just a sin added upon a truly, truly terrible sin. What we're going to do here is I will now request a claim on Aquitaine. There it is. Yeah, with the cannibalism and such, I was very certain that this would happen, that this would take place. Yep, will accept. I will get a claim on Aquitaine, and it will be my duty and my honor to free the realm from this wicked, wicked man. Let's see here. We could demand some payments. He doesn't have any money. Uzada, I don't know why I would ask Wali Yelem. Then again, no, I don't think we're in contact with him, quite frankly. He's a... Where even does he live? Right, he lives right there. No, we're in the deep Maghreb. Come on, we don't actually have a contact there. I could ask for money from Duke Adalberto, but wait a minute. If I join a faction, I can force him in it with a hook, so I'm not gonna do that unless... Wait a minute. Are you terrified? Yeah, he's terrified, so he won't join the faction either. I don't really expect anybody else to join our faction, but we'll have to see. I could ask Felipe. I mean, $10 is $10, right? Let's just leave this where it is for the moment. We see some things are quite degenerated. Let's get home here, get some money back, and then we may attack. I've pondered your request and have decided to recognize your claim on the kingdom of Aquitaine. May you throw out the filthy devil that rules currently in Carcassonne. I will prove myself a worthy ruler. Indeed, I will. And you know what? For this campaign, I think it is totally worth it to ask Pope Stephanus for yet another round of funding here so we can actually make this happen. Ultimately, this is all in his cause. And at this point, you can see, I outed him. I got a claim on his title. We have literally a minus 110. And yet he's still positive. Yeah. No, the game doesn't really correspond well to friendships falling apart. The game basically assumes that you become a friend and remain friends until your death. In this case, of course, not correct. Meaning, I will now declare him a rival. And with him now being a rival, which just makes sense roleplay-wise, I think the mechanic just doesn't account for it, I will go ahead and open a claimant faction for myself. And I will immediately force Duke Adalberto II in. It gives me some stress, but these are stressful times. How else do you want me to depict it? And you know what? Frankly, I'm worried about this. I am making a lot of money. I'm not sure whether we're going to lose or win money as soon as we raise our troops. I'm not entirely certain about the costs there. 20. If we raise them, right? Yeah, that's 20.6 bucks max. Wait, is that right? Jesus. I mean, okay, wait a minute. We have some maintenance. And I think the max means if you are in a position where you have to... Oh no, forces raised and at full strength. Huh. Well, we might actually soon... or fairly soon go bankrupt, even with the Pope's money. Honestly, this war will be worth it, though. It is a war against a true injustice in the world, so whatever, I'll take what I can get. I was thinking about this just now. I want to hire. We have a personal champion here, of course, but a personal champion isn't the same as somebody that actually protects us. With what we are doing here, knowing that King Asna III is basically backed into a corner like a vile animal, we have to be prepared that he might attempt to assassinate us. Philippe, I need you to protect me. I need you to be my bodyguard. I hope that... I mean, does he have any? No, he doesn't have a trait that you know, could point towards my betrayal. What about a second bodyguard? Can I trust Pelayo? Pelayo, I'm not sure. Gelon? He's a zealous man. Asna? I like a lot of these men. I do enjoy Suero, but... I mean, I don't know. I gotta be honest with you. When it comes to bodyguards, I think we can't really afford more than one because it's 0.62. And yeah, let's just leave it like this. Now that we have created this faction, I would also actually like to go and raise my troops in a bit. There's the money. That is what I'm talking about. God bless ya, Pope. We're gonna make the best out of this. Is there anybody else that could join here? I have to assume that they're all terrified, right? Let's take a look. Even Matei. And Matei is, I mean, he was the biggest opponent of the king, and I guess we told him to have some respect. Yeah, they're all terrified. I don't think I will wait for the timing here to tick down, but if we make a little bit more money, I think ultimately that would be better. More money means that we can actually defend ourselves here. Maybe even by hiring some mercenaries. Let's get up to 300 and then we'll just declare our war. Hey, what is this? Duchess Veronica Girardet. Wow, I'm very, very impressed. She actually herself, wasn't she terrified? Oh, she's just in... Ah, it must have gone down just past her threshold. Oh, that is insanely exciting. It could also be a new dislike calculation or something, I'm not sure. But I really, really like this, because what we're looking at here is a lady that unpromptedly went in and is now fighting for the good cause. The fighting, you know, for what truly is right. And I'm looking at this just now. As a promise, we will basically give her this county, I think, right? Tian. If we win, she gains Tian. Oh yeah, and I do want to expand on the Pope supporting us here, because there is a difficulty here. He's giving us a claim, yes, he's giving us permission to clean up the realm, but, and this is very important, we are a woman. And while we, in our corner over here, are very, very equal when it comes to the rights that women and men enjoy, the Pope doesn't see it that way. I think basically what is happening here is we're kind of paying him off. We're saying we won't declare ourselves queen, we will simply declare ourselves regent. And then, once a worthy fella comes along, potentially Philippe, you know, we would then hand the crown and the throne properly to them, rather than actually being in the position of naming ourselves queen. On top of that, I think we should probably promise him that Toulouse will become another archbishopric. More power for the church in a renewed Aquitaine. I think that is something that is worth fighting for and that the Pope would also enjoy. Honestly, I'm even going to promise I'm going to give Zanduina back to Prince Archbishop Aldebert. I'll just do it. Yeah, absolutely. We will now declare the war. Actually, I will cheese it a little bit, if you know what I mean. I'll raise these troops. And then we will start marching. We shall start marching. And I shall lead this army myself. Give up. Or be defeated, King Asna. Your claim on my title is no more real than the stories we tell children at night. No matter how many misguided fools you have gathered to help carry out your scheme, I will not bend to such a collection of dung. I'd rather die than see my birthright fall to someone so low. Death it is, then. Let's fight him where he stands, where he lives, and where he deserves to be punished. Let me just look at this. I need to take this commander out so that we are definitely commanding this. I didn't actually hire any of the knights, I just recalled. Oh man, he is so good and so damn expensive. We're losing just a little bit of money. We're actually doing quite well there. Right, there's something I need to do. I wanted to call in Gerardo. He needs to support us, obviously, because, you know, that is what our daughter's role in this war is. You can see Provence has joined us, Auvergne has joined us. I am so proud of my husband and Duchess Veronica. They chose the right choice. Or they picked the right choice when morality really asked for it. And we can definitely defeat them here. He has been in debt for, what is it, 4 years? Yeah, Jesus, you're done, buddy. This is over for you. Oh, and he's defending it himself. Maybe I could imprison him. That would be very, very excellent. He said yes. I enjoy that. And we are winning. Witchcraft introduction. Our knight Gillon has wounded somebody. Our knight Mayor Jacquemin. Oh, Mayor Jacquemin. I did enjoy his company, but here we are, I suppose. War is cruel. War is terrifying. Our knight Mayor Johannes was wounded. That is not good. I don't enjoy that one bit. We did not capture him, sadly. Allied combatant slain, right? We did capture Duke Casimir. Isn't that interesting? The Duke of Wieden sits in my prison. There's a long history between us, but I have to tell you, I think I will simply... that's not enough. Once he has the money, I will simply ransom him and then spend that money on knights. I think that is very, very wise. We lost a knight already anyway. Let's hire him right away. Let's hire Pandov. I think we can afford these two at the very least. And then I will raise them immediately. As they, of course, are not in our armies. And let's siege Toulouse. This is a difficult siege anyway, because it's such a... Jesus, what a well-reinforced... I mean, we talked about this in previous episodes. Not Toulouse. Carcassonne is basically at this point from Iberia towards the entirety of Western Europe. That is vital to hold. So, no doubt that they reinforced that castle properly. It will take some time to siege. Oh, but it looks like they will at the very least siege this up there, Toulouse. Very, very nice. Yeah, let's do this. Is there anything I need to know about this battle? We have a lot of wounds, actually. Jesus. Wow, so many legs lost. Philippe, how are you doing? You doing okay? Suero? Where was Suero? There he is. Didn't suffer at all. He killed 39. Philippe killed 50. Excellent work, my sons. Excellent work indeed. Excuse me, what just happened? Oh, okay. Till death do us part. How can a heart endure this kind of pain without breaking? It cannot be possible. Yet here I am, my heart beating on whilst yours has gone quiet. O Adalberto, my petal, life will not be the same without you. All the stress, and ultimately he wasn't a part of, you know, everything happening in the witch circle. He didn't know that we have the blessing of Ackerbells. All the stress got to him. At least the memories remain. And that means that Philippe is now indeed a duke here. Meaning he will be commanding his own troops. He will be leading his own troops. What is this? Why are these fighting? Wait, what? I need to see what's happening there. Nothing. Yeah, absolutely nothing. Okay, wow, sure. So Philippe now, with Duchess Ebba, rules over Provence. And that got rid of our bodyguard. Man, I need a bodyguard. I feel very uncomfortable knowing that he is out there. He's sadistic. That our enemy is out there. I will pay for Pelayo. Having somebody as powerful as a cannibal as your opponent, you need to be sure that you can handle it. Right, Duke Alberto died. At least he didn't die in combat. He simply couldn't handle the stress, but in his honor, now even more, we must finish this war. Oh, and look at that, he finished the fine secret task. I will move him to disrupt schemes. I'll be honest with you, I think Duchess Elizabeth is afraid only of the blade in the dark. Because she is excellent on the battlefield, and she will always, always be superior. Speaking of which, stop substituting her out, okay? I wish I could just say only put her in there. Because Jesus Christ, please stop it. Did we capture anybody? I don't think anybody of value at the very least. We captured his wife, Queen Mart, and she will give birth. Oh my god, this could be such a lucky coincidence. She will give birth in my prison, with child for 5 months, so in 4 months. And if it's a son, we would have his heir in our prison. That would be remarkable. That would be utterly, utterly remarkable. Now, what about this down here? When will you finish sieging? 3 months. And I think we will be making it there in 2 months. You know what? Let's march. If they come with me, we can win that fight. We can absolutely win that battle. Bleeding teeth. I was a little too fixated with cleaning my teeth earlier today and brushed with too much intensity, resulting in some slight bleeding from my guns. As a result, my teeth are covered in blood. Unfortunately, I have to meet with my court soon, even though I look like a man-eating bloodthirsty monster. Well, okay, listen. I think that our council chamber will make some jokes about how we look like The wicked, wicked man over there. It takes us 28 more days to get in there. Are you serious? That is crazy. So we're gonna fight him in the mountains. That's not good. I think we have to let him siege this. Then again, he is in debt for 5 years, right? Yeah. If we lose that battle, though, we would lose his wife as a prisoner. I'm not interested in that, admittedly. Let's just move over there. Just spread out here. I can fight him anywhere, I think, except the mountains. Obviously, we lost the siege. That is okay. Can we actually replenish here? We can't really, right? Yeah. Oh, you're actually over it. You're not over it. So you will be supplied. Yeah. I think we march into them here. I think we get together here and we fight them somewhere in Iberia. Maybe. Could fight him right here, and I think we want to. Oh, he's gonna get away with, isn't he? You wouldn't even catch him there. And they are taking shore leave. Yeah, no, let's just siege. You know what? Let's simply siege here. Child of my dynasty, Lope de Comminges. And with that, his heir sits in our prison. May you grow strong and wise. Of course, his heir has no right to Aquitaine or Italy either. I want to make this clear. This is a question of ousting an entire part of the realm that is truly depraved. Eating humans goes against everything and anybody on this entire world map, basically, right? There's no consideration here beyond that. So, yeah, obviously, this is just huge for our war score. This will end this war so much faster. Oh, really? Are we doing this? Alright. I'll kill you where you stand, buddy. I will destroy you wherever you are. Are you wounded? He looks wounded, but apparently he isn't. Ooh, Duke Louis Thibaltet died. He was also quite, you know, the weird. I mean, the dynasty in Valencia as a whole, I think, is quite odd. And then Duke Tommaso of Emilia has also perished. Oh, what a fight. What a struggle it is. Oh, and look at that. We did now become the new dynasty head. And I will use this opportunity to immediately claim his title. I will be the regent of Italy. There's no way around it. You will have me in this throne room. Mental break, Dark Thoughts. I mean, no wonder. No wonder we're having a mental break. Our husband has died. As well as things are going on the war front, our husband is dead. I think this is actually slightly better, right? Actually, I'm not sure. It's roughly equal, but the Vasconia male is it's a true family heirloom. Francois Spear. Listen, I'm not giving away Prince Vea's spear. We might actually add this as a throne room article to not too far in the future. How are we going to deal with this? Listen, for this one, I'll just tell you, she's just getting drunk while marching. Usually we would. Then again, we would usually roll this out. And you know what? Let's just do it. Screw it. I want to see what happens here. She has a mental breakdown. Her best friend and husband died. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's roll. And we've rolled a 3. And with that, I will drink until these thoughts are gone. Yeah, drinking binge. That is not that great. But I mean, what can you do? All that matters now is that we finish this siege and then we can finally call it a day. At least for Aquitaine. And, oh, wait a minute. We get the county of Auvergne. Taking my old war participants. Okay, wait a minute. What I'm going to do is first, I will definitely, without a doubt, I will sell Duke Casimir here. Because the money is definitely worth it. And I think I will have to do some consular stuff here. We were supported by Duchess Veronica, and yet we, for some reason, are taking the county of Auvergne. That doesn't seem right. That is her only county. If anybody of my supporters, if anybody here that is sensible loses land, I will readjust it. I will just hand it back to them, I'll be honest with you. I don't see the point in... I mean, it gives me a boatload of land, look at this here, but I need to be fair here, right? I want to be fair to the people that fought with us. The war's over. My wisdom ever elude you. May wisdom ever elude you. You're a much greater foe than I imagined. In order to put an end to this bloodshed, I will comply with your demands. And look at that. The guy lost so many titles. All my stress is gone. Wow, that is insane. Obviously, she has a favor hook on me now. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, she's in Italia. That is... She was just given that land. Wait a minute. You're kidding. My son is now in Italy. Yeah, no, I'm gonna correct this. Just give me a second. We're gonna take a look at the throne room in a bit as well. Alright, so here we are. I have restored what ought to have been restored. Duke Philippe Elisabeth has returned to, you know, where he was in Provence. He has been given these 2 titles as well. I don't even think we got any modifiers there. Yeah, I only granted him a couple of vassals, but everything else I just gave him via the consul. Then we have Auvergne, that has also returned. Duchess Veronica, welcome back. That was a bit odd that she went over there, but now she holds more land, so that is her benefit, and obviously she has a hook on me as well. Tolosa, Prince Archbishop Raymond Berenguer of Tolosa now rules in this region, further strengthening the church's impact. And now here we come to the land that I legitimately got, which is, this is all of the land of the king. I will give that out as well, but first, as I promised, I will give you Zanduina. Guyenne must be strong yet again. You shall have this land, and then down here, see, I am thinking, what do we do with you? We could give this to Suero. He stands to inherit it anyway, right? So, I might as well. I think I'm gonna keep Carcassonne, actually. It's an interesting thought. I believe I will keep Carcassonne. And I will give you all of these territories here to the south. Barcelona and Catalonia shall be in your possession, Suero. Please, 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 be a good ruler. And then Carcassonne, which is of course the seat, and let's do a dive back into history, okay? Where is he? There he is. Duke Garcia Aznaré. That was our very first character. I remember Aznar II the Depraved, he cleaned up, he of course took care of Count Arnaud. What a vile man he was, but I mean, to be fair, there was mostly murder, mostly some adultery. Not comparable to the former king of Aquitaine, King Aznar the Dragon. He still lives, of course, but yeah, he is gone. And Carcassonne is yet again in my hands. And of course, we have returned. We are now here in the court. Well, we're not in the court, technically speaking, but right, we are in a position where we could hold court, theoretically speaking, but I gotta tell you, there's something more urgent that has to be done, that I have to do. Armagnac, sure. You are not that good at that. I would much rather, I think, he is a powerful vassal, oh really? I think this just hasn't recalculated. I don't think Count Centur is a powerful vassal anymore. I will kick him out. And then hire a different steward right here. The Prince Archbishop would be a good choice, I reckon. He's not bad, but he's not great either. Count Suero. Where the other fellas? Where's Philippe, huh? Where the hell is Philippe, man? There he is. He's pretty good. I think he's going to become... quite soon. I think he's going to become a powerful vassal as well. He just hasn't... No, actually, these are all his troops, huh? Well, then for the moment, he shall just serve me. I can actually reinstitute him as a bodyguard. That's a great idea. Yeah, let's give this to Prince Archbishop to signify that the church plays a big role in this new empire. I assume the church knows that maybe we dabble in this or that, but ultimately, we are making this all possible for them as well, right? So as the last acts of this episode... Ooh, and I could now have ladies in waiting. That is so nice. We are going to go ahead and we're going to name another bodyguard if I can find him. I would like to return... Oh, right, they have to be unlanded, I see. I will give this role, I think, to Pandolf. Do I trust him? Not really. Gelan, I do trust. You know what? Yeah. I'll put you in there. Please do not kill me. I swear to God, if you kill me, you don't know what that will mean for you. I could usurp the duchy. Obviously, I don't currently have the money. Realm will lose vassals when land dies. We're going to worry about all that stuff. Listen, I'm not even going to worry about this stuff in the next episode because we are currently looking at a situation where we haven't been done yet with this war goal, with this attack on King Aznar the Dragon. He will remain the king of Corsica, Sardinia, and Valencia. We can take those later, but Italy must be ours. Then, after that, I think they will only hold like this stuff and this and that will just fall apart on his death. It's meaningless, right? I could request the dynasty banner. That is ridiculous. Artifact must be a banner of your dynasty. Oh, right. Vasconia dynasty banner. We can request that later. My god, that's a lot of artifacts he's willing, or he's in the possession of. I will attack for my claim on Italy, and I will truce break. I'll just say it. I'm not afraid to truce break. Technically, we would have to wait for 5 years, but Elizabeth sees this as a single campaign. Now I will immediately continue. They are superior now, Jesus. No, I'm not happy with that, but I mean, what can you do? And that is what we did for this episode. I will see you in tomorrow's episode that I am sure, hopefully, leads to massive success, but I can also see her simply dying. Let's hope not, okay? For the moment, I will see you later, alligator.